I have in the studio with me this morning Janis Gaye, ex-wife of Marvin Gaye, the late, great Marvin Gaye. She's going to answer some questions for us. Good morning.
Good morning, Donna.
All right, I'm going to get straight on with the questions. How did you first come to hear Paul Davies' cover of Let's Get It On? And what are your thoughts on the song?
Well, posted it on my timeline on Facebook, and I listened to it, and I loved what he did with it. I loved the fact that he interpreted rather than imitated.
What would you give as advice for any young artist starting out in the industry today?
I would say stay true to yourself. Be honest with your music. Make sure that it comes from the heart. And originality is always a good thing. And do it with love.
And you feel that Paul did that with his song? You felt that his interpretation was from the heart?
Absolutely. The tone in his voice and his phrasing, it's definitely there.
It's actually 30 years this year since his passing, and he's still very, very, very much remembered by everybody.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. Well, he used to tell me that he would live forever.
He
and
does.
I wish he meant that in the literal sense.
Definitely.
I wish he was still with us.
Absolutely.
Even though I'm his ex-wife, today would have been our 37th wedding anniversary.
Wow, that's an amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us. That's special.
It is. It really is. So I'll be thinking about him today, and he's always in my prayers, and his spirit is always with me and with the kids. So, I'll talk to him later.
Absolutely. Here are some more questions from some of the fans. One of them said, how is Janis Gaye these days, and what goals does she have for herself now?
Well, I'm doing well. I am health-wise, I'm a breast cancer survivor.
Amen.
Of 2 years.
Fantastic.
And it took its toll in a way, but I feel like myself. I feel good. I am able to spend time with my family, my 2 beautiful adult children. I hate calling them kids, but
Right.
I usually call them my
They're
babies.
always your babies. Yeah, always your
Right.
babies.
We're hoping that people continue to listen to Marvin's music, which I don't think will be a problem since they've been doing it for many, many years.
Yes.
We're doing well. I'm doing well. The family is doing well, in spite of what anyone may read. We're doing just fine.
Thank you. Another question someone asked was, when and how did you discover you were the inspiration behind some of Marvin's songs, and how did that feel? What were your first reactions?
Well, the first time I heard anything like that was when he performed Jan at the Oakland Coliseum. And he had mentioned during his lead-in into the song that I asked him to write it, which is not true. So it was flattering, and then afterwards I was very upset with Marvin, and he didn't understand why, and we had a conversation about it, and he, said I would have written it anyway, and I know you didn't ask me, but I guess he felt a little uncomfortable. It was at the beginning of our relationship, and the great thing is that he got out on stage and he sang it anyway. And then as far as any other inspirational kinds of things, many people think that I inspired certain parts of Let's Get It On. Not the song itself, but maybe the song itself, but the song was already written by the time I met him, and what I've heard from people is that I inspired the passion in which he sang the song. And that's always, what woman wouldn't be, what man, what human being would not be, flattered by that?
So it gives you some good feelings as well when you go back.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And hats off to the I Want You album. I always get questions from people saying, how do you feel about that? It was so sexually charged, and, you were the muse for it. If I was the muse for something as incredible as that, then I can only smile and think about that in my old age. Forever grateful to Leon Ware and T-Boy Ross for working with Marvin on that, and to Ed Townsend for working on the Let's Get It On album. And it's a privilege. It's a privilege.
Here's another one that is in relation with that. What is a typical day in the life of Mrs. Marvin Gaye like? What was a typical day in the life of Mrs. Marvin Gaye like?
Oh gosh, what era are we talking about? Like
They did not specify. They did not specify.
Okay, well, when we were together, it was wonderful. It was magical. It was more special than I can even describe. But in saying that, it was also real life, and no relationships are perfect. So we had our good times and our bad times. But typically, once I had my children, it was me and the children and Marvin either traveling with him while he was touring, because the kids were very young then. And at one time I wanted to be a singer myself, so I would spend time nagging Marvin, please, can I just do one thing? Could I just sing on one song?
Did you?
And that's exactly what he let me do. He let me sing on one song, which is Got to Give It Up.
Thank you so much for your time. I've loved the interview.
Well, thank you, and I want to just say all the best to Paul in his career moving forward. I think he's a wonderful artist and a really nice gentleman, so I want to say that for sure on record.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.